Mr. Redmond. Mr. Redmond, how you doing again? Will you please dial in board member Bird Robinson, please?
I will.
Thank you.
All right, good evening again, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes,
You can hear me?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
That's how he got kind of the one space family set together.
You got a phone on, Smith?
It's coming.
Are we ready?
Okay, all right, we're ready to determine sites. We have Ms. Bird Robinson on the phone now.
All right, is everybody ready online?
Yes. Yes.
Everybody ready?
Yes, can you hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you all hear me in the boardroom?
So, move on.
Can you hear me in the boardroom?
Yes, we can.
All right. Okay, call this meeting to order at 6:46 p.m. for our open session meeting of the Weldon City School Board of Education. This time we will ask if we will prepare ourselves to read our mission statement soon as it is put on the board. All right, let us read together our mission statement. The mission of Weldon City School District is to create and maintain a highly effective educational system in which every student receives the highest quality education. School employees and parents work together to prepare students to become caring, competent, and responsible citizens who value education as a lifelong process. All right. Thank you so much. At this time, I will share our thought for the evening. The football coach, Jimmy Johnson, gave this quote: "The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra, EXTRA. And I say that if we want Weldon City Schools to move forward and to be the very best that we can be, we must do a little extra." Thank you so much. At this time, I ask board members to review the agenda for tonight's meeting. Are there any additions or deletions that we need to make to our agenda for tonight?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
looking at number 9, the consent agenda, letter B, the fall policy updates, first read. It's over 100 pages, and we just received it. And I would request that we maybe table it till next month, and also in the meantime be given a listing of all additions or deletions and changes with page number and rationale, so that it will be easier for us to follow.
Okay.
They have 3 months to review them.
Say again.
They're just current policies that have been updated. Most of them have minor changes.
Are they updated by the School Board Association?
Yes, and they have 3 months to review. We don't approve them until June.
Did you hear that, Mrs. Robinson?
Yes, and we can leave it on the agenda, but I still request that we be given a listing of the changes, so we won't have to go through word for word and not know what is exactly. And I know it's in red that what's being changed, but if you give it to us, we'll know what's going on as well. The page number and the action.
Okay. Duly noted.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. Hearing nothing else, a motion would be in order to approve tonight's agenda.
I move that we approve tonight's agenda.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Ms. Jenkins,
Oh, I can't hear Ms. Jenkins. That microphone ain't close to you. I can't hear you. Thank you. I heard you then. All right, the motion has been moved and properly seconded that we approve our agenda for tonight. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness or further discussion before we should vote? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you be let it be known now by your voice vote? Mrs. Jenkins?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
yes.
Thank you. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mrs. K.A. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Ms. Bird Robinson? And O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect that it was a unanimous vote. All right, next on our agenda for tonight is approval of the minutes from our March 3rd special call meeting and our March 22nd regular board meeting. Has everyone received and reviewed their minutes? All right, a motion is in order. Motion is in order to approve our minutes from March 3rd and March 22nd.
I would like to make a motion that our minutes be approved for March 3rd and 22nd.
Second.
Thank you so much. Motion has been moved and properly second that we accept our minutes from our March the 3rd special call meeting and the March 22nd regular monthly board meeting. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, would you let it be known by your voice vote at this time? Ms. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Ms. Jenkins?
Aye.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
And O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect that the minutes are approved unanimously. All right, at this time, we will go into our reports and we will start with Dr. Conklin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman, board members, employees, parents, and the Charger family. It is my pleasure to share with you my April superintendent's report. I am pleased to report that we had a very successful school reopening on March the 29th. We had a number of our students to report or have elected to participate in face-to-face instruction. Those that elected not to participate in face-to-face instruction continue to engage in successful remote instruction. There were and will continue to be challenges as we put forth our best efforts to provide a quality education to our students. But teachers, administrators, staff, students, and parents continue to successfully overcome those challenges through commitment, communication, and a determination to serve our students in the best ways that we can. It is my pleasure to announce at this time that Weldon City Schools Finance Department has received the Association of School Business Officials, better known as ASBO, Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for the fiscal year that ended in 2020. David Lewis, Executive Director of ASBO, writes that this award represents a significant achievement and reflects your commitment to transparency and high-quality financial reporting. Congratulations to Mrs. Matilda Campbell and the entire Finance Department for having received this honor and recognition on behalf of the school system. Keep up the good work and continue to make Weldon City Schools proud. I want to thank the community, teachers in all schools, and central office officials for your hard work, commitment, and dedication that have allowed us to successfully navigate through the COVID crisis, the COVID-19 crisis, with minimal and manageable negative impact on our school district. Even though we have had some setbacks that can be attributed to COVID-19, it could have been much worse. However, because of the preliminary efforts, the extensive planning, and the successful and consistent implementation of safety protocols carried out and followed through by our school district, we have managed to keep COVID disruptions and interruptions at a minimum. That's not to say that we have not had tremendous challenges, because we certainly have. We do not know what lies ahead as it relates to those challenges, but we are grateful for the focus and tenacity that the staff, including both school level and district level administrators, have exhibited in their efforts to confront this ongoing crisis. I just want to remind everyone that this crisis is not over by any stretch of the imagination. We must continue to be diligent and determined in our efforts to follow safety protocols and to manage and plan for all worst-case scenarios. We are in the midst of planning for end-of-year closeouts and end-of-year activities. We are formulating plans for our required summer school requirements as we look ahead to hopefully having a more normal and traditional school year, beginning with 21-22 school term. Just to be clear, we still do not know yet what the new school year will look like in comparison to what we have experienced since March of 2020. But whatever the situation might be, we will be ready and prepared for the challenges ahead. We thank everyone for your patience and understanding as we move forward with managing and addressing the needs of our school system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Congleton, for sharing your report tonight. My report will be very, very brief.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
let's give finance a big hand, for that good report that we got.
That was going to be a part of what I was going to start with. Thank you, Ms.
Oh,
Jenkins.
okay, I'm sorry.
I was going to let that be go out with a bang, the comments that I was going to say. But look, we can still do it. Let's give them a hand now. All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Jenkins and board members. As I was saying, I'm going to be very, very brief. I just want to thank all of our staff in Weldon City Schools, our parents, and our most prized possession, our students, for continuing to navigate through the times in which we live. My hat goes off, our hat goes off as the entire board to everyone for the work that they're striving to do. Thank you so very, very much. And to our community and parents and our staff, and certainly our students, rest assured that this board, we're doing everything that we possibly can to make sure that we as a board work to provide the best avenue, the best environment possible that our students can continue to learn, and everybody feel that Weldon City Schools is the place that they want to be. And now, certainly, again, I want to thank the finance department and commend them for the commendation that they have received in that respect. So let us certainly give them another round of applause. 2 times will not hurt. All right. Thank you so much. That's all that I have at this time. We'll go right into C under reports, our monthly financial statements. And Mrs. Campbell, if you are ready, we
I
are
am.
all right.
Okay, good evening to
Good.
everyone. to Dr.
Good to see you,
Collington.
Ms. Campbell.
Thank you
tonight.
so very much.
Certainly.
Thank you. Good evening again to Dr. Collins, Interim Superintendent, Board Chair, Reverend Sykes, and board members. Our monthly financial report starting with Fund 8. Our beginning revenues is $717,762.18. We had a total deposit of $115,064.67, bringing our year-to-date total to $832,826.85. Our beginning expenditures is $760,676.17. Our total expenditures for the month was $48,418.40, bringing our year-to-date total to $809,094.57, giving us a net result for the year as of March the 31st, $23,732.28, bringing our unobligated fund balance to $404,598.15. Current expense, beginning revenue, $1,807,819.44. Total deposit for the month was $94,401.42, bringing the year-to-date total to $1,902,220.86. Our beginning expenditures is $1,052,752.29. Total expenditures for the month was $140,551.30, bringing the net result to the year-to-date total to $1,193,303.59, giving us a net result for the year as of March the 31st, $708,917.27, bringing our unobligated fund balance to $1,579,204.27.
Ms. Campbell, if you would, before you go on, the part in the red, the 3168, explain that to me. What is that? Is that supposed to be a plus or?
That is it's a credit, is where we refund local for workers' comp that was paid out of the wrong budget code.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Capital outlay. Beginning revenue is $266,375.44. Total deposit for the month was $11,476.66. Bring your year-to-date total $277,852.10. Our beginning expenditure is $128,182.47. Total expenditure of the month was $2,083.98. Bring your year-to-date total to $130,266.45, giving us a net result for the year as of March the 31st of $147,585.65, bringing our unobligated fund balance to $601,965.65. Child nutrition. Beginning revenues is $390,768.17. Total deposit for the month is $50,294.84. Bring year-to-date total to $441,063.01. Beginning expenditures, $379,957.74. Total expenditures for the month was $51,523.42. Bringing year-to-date total to $431,481.16. Giving a net result for the year as of March the 31st, $9,581.85. Bringing the unobligated fund balance to $272,587.85.
Does anyone have any questions on our financials for the month of March? Our local fund and current expense, capital outlay, and child nutrition. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move right on to item D under reports, amendments.
You
Does
received it.
anyone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you gonna read them? I was going to ask. If
No,
anyone
I was
had
just
any-
going to ask if they had any questions and call out the amendments that they received. That was
Sure,
all.
go right
Okay.
ahead.
You received in your package State Amendment number 33, 34, 35, Federal Amendment number 14, 15, 16, and Local Amendment number 16. Are there any questions in reference to those amendments?
Mrs. Campbell, can you call those numbers again? Because I'm looking at mine. I see state amendments 28 through 32.
I had State Amendment 33, 34, and 35. Federal Amendment number 14,
Okay.
15, 16, and Local Amendments 16.
Okay.
That's what I printed. I hope I did not miss one.
Yeah, this right here is not matching up with this. I think that's what.
Yeah, it's not matching up at all.
Yeah, requesting approval of state amendments.
I have state amendment.
And it's not matching up with with these particular amendments. So that may be a misnomer there in terms of that heading.
Reverend Sykes, I can go back once I finish, go my last item, and I'll go into my numbers and see what I have and come back, if that's
yeah,
okay
if
with
you-
the board.
Yeah, please do that. I much
Okay.
rather we do that just to make sure
Okay.
we compare
Okay.
correctly.
Okay,
All right. Let's go ahead on with number E then.
okay,
Letter E rather.
okay. What you have before you tonight is with the finance officers across the state received a letter from Alexis Schultz, who is in charge of school business at DPI. And in that letter, the state are retiring the traditional state installment system. Department of Public Instruction is moving into the modernization system effective July of next school year, July 1 of the 21-22 school year. So what that means to all the other LEAs, we had to come up because the statute states that we do have to offer a installment plan to our employees that's on 10 months. And so what I'm offering to our employees, and we currently do have employees now that is on, what we have is the summer cash program through our state employees credit union. Talking with many of my other colleagues within my region that I associate with, they're moving with the summer cash program, where the employees can have an account at the credit union, decide how much money they want to come out of their checks to go into the summer cash program. And then the credit union in terms will, in the month of June and July, whichever date the employee choose to have their money sent into their account, is dispersed into their account. If an employee choose another bank, they can fill out a ACH deposit slip where we can transmit it when we transmit our direct deposit file. But the state says that we do have to offer an option to all employees for a 12-month option. With this option, with the summer cash program, 11 months employees have an option to go on this plan, where now they currently cannot go on the plan. If an employee comes in after the start of the school year, where now they can, if they come in after we run the first payroll in August, they don't have an option to go on installment. Where with the summer cash plan, they can go on installments with the summer cash program. Will receive interest on the money they deposit into the summer cash program. So I'm bringing before the board tonight, Weldon City Schools option for our installment plan starting July 1 of the 21-22 school year.
Okay. Board
And
members,
as you see in the letter, Wake County Schools has been doing this since 2002, I'm sorry, and Buncombe County Schools has been doing it since 2008.
board members, do you have questions or comments?
I have one question.
Go right ahead, Ms. Kay Robinson.
Good evening. How will this affect teachers who are already on 10 months but have their paycheck spread over the 12 months?
It will not affect them this school year. We still have to do their installments for the month of June and July as normal, because they will not close, DPI will not close the 2021 school year until they finish all the accruals and everything for this school year. So it will not affect them this school year. It will affect them next school year.
Okay, so they will have to change with this program for next summer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there a deadline for our teachers to do that, or?
I am working closely with the credit union to try to set up a meeting, whether it be virtual or they come out in person, so they can talk with all staff members in reference to it. Working with my payroll clerk so that we can get the option form out to the staff. But we didn't want to do anything to after the board meeting, so that we can get the options out to the staff so they will have time to get all the information back to us prior to they leaving at the end of May.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Was that Mrs. Bird Robinson?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Campbell, I think Ms. Bird Robinson has a question.
What?
Mrs. Robinson, can you say it again?
Yes, what is our reason for moving toward the summer cash? I think I missed that part. Probably not on.
Because the Department of Public Instruction is retiring the traditional installment plan.
Did you get that, Mrs. Bird Robinson?
I did.
Okay. I didn't know if your device had gone out. Okay. Any other question? Okay, board, if we're going to approve this, we will need a motion to that effect. The retirement of the state installment system, to accept it.
I make a motion to approve a retirement of the state installment system discussion.
Second.
Thank you so much. Has been moved and properly seconded that we will approve the retirement of the state installment system, and of course go with the new plan that has been proposed by Mrs. Campbell tonight. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness or any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? O.D. Sykes, aye. Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Okay. Mrs. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Hale,
Aye.
Ms. K.A. Robinson,
Aye.
and Mrs. Jenkins. Did she say aye?
I said,
Okay. That microphone ain't picking you up good, Ms. Jenkins. I'm struggling trying to hear you. Thank you so much. All right, let the record reflect that the motion was approved unanimously. All right. And we'll still come back, Mrs. Campbell, at the very end after everything, so you can get those
Okay,
amendments
I'm gonna
straight.
go look for it, yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right, at this time, we'll go to our building and grounds report. Is Mr. Turner
yes.
available?
Good evening.
All right, how you doing, sir?
How's everybody tonight?
All right.
Good to see everybody. Basically, what we're trying to do right now is just maintain everything we got going on everywhere. Monday, we're gonna convert everything over to air conditioning in all locations, so we'll start switching everything over Monday morning. Maintain temperatures, start getting a little bit warm, so we're gonna start getting the classrooms a little bit cooler. And we've been working on some stuff around outside, trying to get stuff straight for graduation at the high school. We're gonna try to get that stuff cleaned up and straightened up over there in the next couple of weeks. We've been spraying weed kill and getting everything trimmed out, so we got to do what we got to do with a little bit of help we got going on with that, because we're kind of shorthanded on that, but we're gonna get it done. And basically, we're just trying to maintain everything that's going on, and glad to have see some of our kids back. And I'm glad to be here tonight too. So any questions?
Mr. Turner, I passed by the elementary today and I saw some kids out on the playground. What, are you planning something out there or?
No, we've got some project going with a certain company is actually putting in some playground equipment for the EC kids. And it's just something we got donated to us. And they're gonna be working on for the next 5 days.
Okay.
And I'm glad to see that too. And thank you for noticing that, Ms.
Yeah,
Harris.
I noticed that.
Mr. Turner,
Yes, ma'am.
do we have, I know last year I mentioned about the grass, you know, that's coming up. Do we have, I think it's brown up or whatever it is.
We just picked some up last week, yeah.
Grass that around that the board can cut. Have we got any of that yet or?
Yes, ma'am. We just picked up some last week. We just started spraying this week, so we're getting all the spots sprayed, including the parking lot. So, and what we end up doing is we use the pickup truck with a sprayer in the back, and we actually hook it up to the front part of it because we don't have a tractor. So we actually use the truck to spray the parking lot with, but everything else we've been doing it by hand. So we're gonna get it done. That's something I wish we can get done next year as far as the whole parking lot anyway, because it needs to be resurfaced, but we'll talk about that when we figure out what's going on for us budget. So, but we're gonna make it look a lot better than what it looks now. So, yeah, but we have got some weed kill and we just picked it up last week. We just started spraying. Yes, ma'am.
Are we prepared for the grass season?
No,
When I said prepared, Mr. Daniels, is there someone helping him?
no, ma'am.
It's just still him.
Well, we had Mr. Boone helping, but pulling him back out, these some stuff for us, helping with spraying the buses and all, but I'm gonna talk to Dr. Congan about that tomorrow. Figure out where we can get some more help pushed in towards helping him. And we'll get him back where he needs to be at, but everybody's trying to pitch in right now to get him caught back up. Basically, we all been spraying and cutting and weeding, and Troy's been doing a wonderful job for, he's been doing too, and I just want to let everybody know he's doing a good job, so he's straightening a lot of stuff out.
What, we don't really have anybody, Mr. Daniel cuts all the grass himself.
Well, basically,
Andy Jackson, Aaron,
up to about 2 weeks ago, Mr. Boone had been helping him to start spraying the buses again. They pulled him and he started spraying the buses as far as getting them clean, get them disinfected. But I think they worked something out on that too. I think we may be able to use them again. So I think they pulled, I'm not sure on that one. I think Mr. Wooten on that one, because they pulled somebody back out that let him do that. So he's not going to be spraying the buses anymore. So I'm not sure about that one. But we've always been shorthanded on the grounds, folks. We really have. So, but we all try to pull together to help them when we can. So we're gonna get it straight. But that's something we need to talk about down the road too. It needs to be 2 people on those lawnmowers. It used to be years ago, but I know we've dwindled down some as far as that part goes, but yes, ma'am, we need 2 people on the grounds.
My question is, maybe I need to ask, I need this guy here, but, I think, the maintenance only have you and the other young man, and he works what, how many hours?
He only works 6 hours a day. He leaves at 1 o'clock. Then I'm by myself after 1 o'clock. And you basically, you see what I do. Electrical, plumbing, heating and air, psychiatrist, doctor. A little bit of
Oh, wow.
everything.
I thought we had more people working with the maintenance.
No, man, we've dwindled down in the
That's all
last,
it was,
yeah, we've been like this for the last 2 or 3 years.
So, Mr. Turner,
Yes, sir.
that you, am I understanding you to say that there are only 3 or 4 people in the maintenance department?
It's just 3. Me,
And two full-time and 1 part-time?
I'm full-time, David's full-time, and other guy works 6 hours a day, which would be, he still gets 30 hours, but that's all he actually wants. We've
Okay,
been like that for the last 3.5 years now, somewhere in that range.
okay,
But
thank you.
thank you. And y'all have a good night. One more thing I'd like to say thank you to the technology man. He knows how I feel about him. And thank y'all.
All right. Right? School health. Dr. Kong, did you tell me that was Ms. Knight? Okay,
He's here.
okay.
Good evening, board chair, Dr. Congleton and board members.
Evening.
While he's pulling up the presentation. Just to give some updates, we are currently working on the COVID dashboard that will be on our website. If you go there now, you should see COVID-19 dashboard, and that's where all information as it relates to COVID-19 will be. Go to your drive. COVID. Uh-oh. The Bird Robinson disconnected. All right, so as of the last meeting we had, which was, I can't remember, the March 29th, where the board meeting was rescheduled. We did have one additional person added to that list. So I just wanted to go back and add that to that particular list, which was a positive case at that time prior to school starting. So now that school has reopened. Now that school has reopened, this is what our new dashboard will look like, and that will be available and posted, as well as the archive dashboard will also be available on our website. So we have a total of 7 suspected or presumptive cases, 1 positive COVID-19 case. The week before spring break, we had 123 staff members in attendance. And then we had 296 students that were also in attendance. So the number, as far as total cases was 8. I'm sorry, I didn't update that, but that will be updated. We don't have any positive staff cases, and we have 0.34% student cases. So that is the end of the, and we're trying to make sure that we get this information updated by Monday. So when it is posted on live on our website, that information be readily available for you our public, our students, our teachers, and anybody else that would like to have access to the information. And like I said, the dashboard will be available on our main web page. It will be a tab across the top. And I would like to thank Mr. Redmond for his support in ensuring that that gets up so we can be transparent with our COVID-19 cases. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question, Ms. Snipes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Snipes, last month, I do believe I requested that you contact the health department and see if Mr. Health Director Stowe could attend our meetings. Do you have an update on that request?
Yes, ma'am. So I have sent an email request as well as reached out to him directly, and he was not available, but I'm always reaching out for him to be available the next board meeting. He just said send him a reminders, and then he will let me know if he is available.
Thank you so very much.
You're so welcome.
Any other questions? All right, if not, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go right into our instructional report. Mrs. Martin. Is that correct, Dr. Congleton, Mrs. Martin?
That's correct, she's here.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So, good evening, board chair, board members.
Good
Dr.
evening.
Congleton, and everyone in attendance. So this is our April instructional report. Okay. So we want to start with some good news. As we speak, we have one of our very own, Miss Imani Cooper, who is a science teacher at Weldon STEM High School Career Academies. She's a state finalist for the North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year. So we are waiting to hear if she's gonna bring home the gold. Okay, so I had my phone. She said, I'll text you as soon as I know. So that ceremony begins at 7. So hopefully before the board meeting is over, I'll be able to give you the information, and that's taking place in Colowee, North Carolina. Also, we have one of our own, Mrs. Sonia Pierce, who's the media specialist and also a beginning teacher mentor. She will be presenting at the virtual North Carolina Beginning Teacher Summit, June 16th through 17th. So Weldon is on the map. Okay. All right. Okay, and this is just a reminder of who our team members are. They serve in various capacities. All right, so testing and accountability. We are actually in the midst of our benchmarks now. So April 14th through the 21st, we have access tests for our EL learners, 5 students on April 21st. On the pre-ACT, our sophomores will be taking that April 22nd. EOG, that testing window is May 12th through the 27th. And if you've seen any of the dates already, that has changed a little because our Fridays are virtual. So that's why the dates may look a little different. And for our EOCs, May 20th through the 27th, okay? Now re-administration. Let's see, Mr. Redmond, will you open? Okay, so the state has given every district this template, a simple template, and we had to fill it out. So Ms. Akila Robinson and I sat down to work on this plan. And so for the re-administration, it's called a summer program, but it's not the same as the summer programs from House Bill 82, which we'll discuss a little further. But again, this is the name given to this particular plan, which is re-administration from DPI. So this is on the agenda as an action, information and action. It's just a 1-page document, and it says the date for parent notification of the summer program would be May 26th. We chose this date because the last day for students is May 27th. By this time, we would hope to have all of the scores back to let the parents know that, hey, your child did not, pass the EOG or EOC, and he or she has an opportunity to attend remediation, and then have that test re-administered. So the grade levels that will be impacted are grades 3 through 12. The subjects are math and science, and you can see NC Math 1 and 3 in biology. You'll notice that there's no ELA and English 2 because those tests are being renormed, so we wouldn't have those scores back in order to re-administer those tests. The initial test proficiency level, so this will only be for students who are not proficient. Okay. So the last day for students is May 27th. The last day for staff, May 28th. The instructional days will be June the 7th through 11th. Now, in the past, some students were able to just show up on re-administration day and say, okay, I'm here. But this year they have to attend all 5 days in order to have that test re-administered. The instructional hours would be 4 hours per day, and it's a total of 20 hours. And the testing dates will be June the 14th through the 17th. They wouldn't actually test each of those days, but we wanted to add another day as a buffer just in case something happened. And all of these would have to be in person. So the students would have to show up at the school. Arrangements for the security, since all of the tests would be online, the security measures that would be taken would be with the manuals. And so the testing and accountability office, Ms. Akila Robinson's office would be the place where we would house the manuals. We would distribute them to the schools at the beginning and then collect them at the end of testing. Okay. So that's what it might need to look at it. We would need to take action on that. I believe she has to turn it in May 7th, I believe, or the week of May 7th. So we would need board approval before that date.
All right. Have you concluded?
Well, for that piece, yes.
Well, we're gonna wait until you finish your,
Okay.
yes, you can
Okay.
continue. All right.
All right, thank you. So here is some of the guidance from the state with re-administration. So the scores are not included in the growth analysis for school accountability or educator effectiveness. However, the higher score will be included in proficiency calculations. Must occur after the conclusion of the student academic year. That's why we said that it will be June 7th through the 11th, because the students' academic year ends on May 27th. Online administrations only, so no paper and pencil. And then I mentioned the reading piece, and that includes the North Carolina Extend 1 Science and North Carolina Extend 1 Biology. And students must attend the summer remediation program to participate. Okay. So now House Bill 82, again, you'll notice that this is summer programs. Again, it's stated that way, but it's something totally different. Okay, so this is a lot of information, but at any point, if there's a question, please just let me know, and then I'll pause so we can discuss it. So based on this bill, which was recently signed into law by Governor Cooper, every school district is required to provide the option of a voluntary instructional program for at-risk students. And this program would have to be implemented outside of the instructional school calendar. The plan would be due April 27th, and that date, we came up with that date because it's 30 days prior to the last instructional day. So we're waiting for a template from the state. We don't have that, so we don't know exactly how that will be presented, but we tried to come up with as much information as we could to prepare. So again, it's entirely voluntary for families. So we can't hold students accountable, if they don't attend. It must be offered for at-risk students. However, other students may attend. So this means it can be a student that is not identified as at risk, as long as we have space for those students. So it must include 150 hours or 30 days of instruction. And this is our tentative plan. We would want, well, no Saturdays. Again, it's outside of the instructional school calendar. And the 150 hours would not include lunchtime, transitions, and periods of physical activity. So our tentative dates would be June 7th, which is a Monday, through July 19th, which is a Monday. And that Monday would be a virtual day and Fridays would be virtual. And this is with the 30 days option. Okay, the tentative hours for teachers will be 8 to 1:30 p.m. and then students will be 8:30 to 1 p.m. So this is what it looks like by grade level. So K3, it must have a reading, math, and science component for third graders. Integrate the district's reading count, which is the read to achieve, and include at least one enrichment activity. These are just examples: art, music, sports, etc. Grades 4 through 8 must include a reading, math, and science component and at least one enrichment activity. So that's basically the same as it is for K3. For high schools, there must be a component for each EOC subject. We may use North Carolina Virtual Public Schools as a way to provide this instruction. We have to have credit recovery opportunities for students, and we know that we have Edgenuity for that. And it must include at least one elective course. For all K through 12, there has to be individual or small group instruction, and there must be a social emotional learning support as well, integrated into the program. So the employment requirements: teachers and other school personnel are hired as temporary employees on separate contracts. The contracts could run through October 1st, 2021, but based on our tentative dates, we wouldn't need it to run that long, but they must have a temporary contract on file for this particular endeavor. The earnings do not count toward retirement, and there's no leave accruement. Retirees, instead of waiting for 6 months, they would only need 1 month break in service if we were looking to, let's say, hire someone that retired in December. Okay, funding requirements: districts are authorized to use read account funds for reading instruction within the program, and this is for grades 1 through 3. DPI will set aside some ESSER 2 funds to support local districts. At the time, we don't know how much that's going to be, and that's sort of what Mrs. Austin is going to touch on, but this is a part of the bill, so I just wanted to mention, or the law. So assessment and reporting requirements: the state board will provide a pre and post test to assess the effectiveness of the program. The reports are due to DPI by October 15, 2021, and the report data will be on the progression and retention of program participants and the number of students who recover credits during the program. So if we have some high school students who actually do the credit recovery option. Now, there's a component about bonuses for national board certified teachers and teachers who previously received performance bonuses. We couldn't determine who that was until they actually applied and then they were approved by the board. Then we could provide more information whether those people would receive a bonus. Okay, now this is our professional development for the district for the month of April. I just mentioned Edgenuity, and while it is primarily, or we were using it primarily for credit recovery, we're also finding other ways to use it now. With that being said, the middle school and high school teachers and early college teachers have a training tomorrow, the 16th, and one on the 30th, and it's in the courseware, the dashboard and virtual tour. Zello is a CTE program that we purchased as a district, and this particular program is good for the 4-year plans for the students. We have actually a training on tomorrow. So Ms. Robin Davis and Ms. Akila Robinson have actually been doing a lot of work in the background to make sure that we're prepared for that training on tomorrow. And then we have, of course, our partnership with East Carolina University, and they provide PD for our beginning teachers as well as other teachers in the district. So on Tuesday, April 20th, they're going to do a session or a test taking and instructional strategies for the teachers to ensure that they can help prepare the students for that. And we may have some in-house PD going on as well at each school. Okay, and now Ms. Knights is going to give her, I think it's about 3 slides, so 3 different departments, okay?
Good evening again. So
Evening.
just wanted to give some updates. We have our students currently within our extended content areas are participating in a virtual Special Olympics. You know, this is the time in which we do actively engage in Special Olympics. So we are now designated as a unified school district, and Mr. Desmond Johnson, want to give him a shout out for his work to ensure that we are involved in the NC Special Olympics in our area and for the state. Then we also wanted to congratulate Mr. Daryl Scott, who has been our educator of excellence person for the state. They have revamped how they were doing it, because usually we do it during this session, during the spring. But this year, due to COVID, they have canceled all of those activities. But each quarter since December, they have been taking recommendations from the schools and celebrating those individuals on the state website. And we want to congratulate Mr. Scott, who was recommended by his principal and myself, Mr. Brown, and we are elated to have him as being our educator of excellence for our state. So congratulations to him.
Congratulations.
And then as far as preschool updates, we will have a preschool application kickoff next week. The teachers are excited, as well as Ms. Jones there at the middle school have been doing a tremendous job to ensure that our preschool program gets heavily advertised, as well as ensure that those families within the area have access to a quality pre-K program. And so we are looking this year, we started conversations last year to start a preschool to kindergarten summer bridge program for our current preschool students. So they will be eligible for any student who will be 5 by August 31st. There may be limited space available based off of staffing and what we currently have. We're pursuing funding opportunities through NC Pre-K as well as CADA. So we don't have all of that information at this time, but we're hoping that those will be able to support us in implementing at least a 3 to 5 day program for those students to get them acclimated and prepared for kindergarten. And then for those of our students that will be coming into preschool, we are looking to have everybody do a staggered entry for those students this year, similar to what we did next year, similar to what we have done this year. Due to the pandemic and parents and students being able to stay at home and not having structured times due to some schools closures. So we're hoping that with that, the teachers are excited about this opportunity. They can build better relationships. We can work on their social emotional needs of our preschool students, so that when they do start by September 1st and they are rocking and ready to go to actively engage and learn in our school environment. And then I did it one more time. So as far as student support services, the state in June of 2020, the State Board of Education approved a school mental health policy. And within that school mental health policy, it does require that all school districts create a school-based mental health plan. And they are some specific components that are required, which are listed here, some of them. And so we have been working diligently. I want to give a shout out to our community partners of practice, which are LaQuasia Hudson, the behavior support specialist for the district, Sharice Rosser, the HCC Director of Student Support Services, Tamika Wright, our community mental health agency of Clinicians of Mecklenburg, Anissa Robinson, Resource Support and MTSS Specialist, Mr. DeAndre Miller, the district student support specialist, and then April Whitaker, our district school social worker. So we have been meeting bi-weekly to work on this particular plan, and we're hoping to have this to you before the end of May, if not by June meeting, so that we can meet the deadline of turning it into the state by July 1st. So we appreciate all of the work that has been going on with our student support services, as well as what we are continuing to do. And I also wanted to just give a shout out to our school counselors at the high school, and especially Miss Shelby Miles, our college liaison, that we have been actively on the leaderboard for NC FAFSA First. We are one of the top districts within the top 5 of our FAFSA applications and our growth. So we are extremely excited about that opportunity that is going on and how we are engaging our students to be not only career, but college ready. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Snipes, for giving us that wonderful report from the EC department. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Not to, no, it's no.
No.
Oh, Ms. Pittman.
Have you finished, Ms. Martin?
Okay, well, we were working as a, we were working as a team, so I didn't know if you wanted me to, you know, if you all wanted to make a motion and approve it before everyone was done or at the end of the presentation.
We'll do it at the end of the presentation. Does Ms. Terry Austin have something to include?
Well, she's going to do the federal programs and parent engagement piece.
That's a part of your presentation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, and then we'll come back and we're gonna wait until the report is concluded.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. With all respect to board chair, board member, superintendent, and all that are here, my colleagues this evening, I'm here to share information on behalf of the federal programs and parent engagement tonight. And I wanted to kind of start it off on a positive impact where we have students that are participating in a virtual program. On this past week, we had 5 students that completed the program during Easter break. They chose to do Friday and Saturday last week, and we're preparing for May 1st and May 8th. It's called the Sexually Risk Avoidance Education Program through CJH Grant Services. So these numbers are a little altered now because we can add those 5 that have completed the program. Each student receives a $50 gift card for completing. And I'm happy to say that Weldon City School students have participated such that they have like incentives for the students for participation. They receive an extra $5 McDonald's card with as an incentive. For every student that participates, CJH provides Weldon City Schools with a $30 stipend for each student that completes the program. So we did just receive a check just today that will be delivered and within our funds. So just want to say congratulations. We emailed out an email to shout out those students that received their gift cards on the last session. And I'm told that the new gift cards will be in the mail tomorrow so that the students can receive theirs for this past session. So addressing the ESSER funds, we're in the process of making application for ESSER 2 and ESSER 3. I have included the planning allotments there. And in answer to the question, Ms. Pittman Martin was talking about the funds that's set aside for ESSER for academic learning. $1,125,904. Well, it's mandatory that's the minimum that we spend on reducing learning loss, which will be used for those programs that Ms. Martin's talked about. So that's the exact figure that we have to set aside, but we can set aside more, but that's the minimum that the federal government said we must do. And then for the ESSER 2, we have the $2 million, set as $2,515,382. That was our planning allotment. So my disclaimer is it's a planning allotment. This is the amount of money that they're telling us to plan for, but once the actual money drops, it can change. So I just want to kind of give that disclaimer. So we've met our initial meeting to bring in the information that we needed. The first meeting included just the local department heads, principals, and we all came around the table and we set up a plan where we'll be coming back on April 26th to prepare. In our preparation, we will complete our district-wide strategic plan that will be used to guide not just the ESSER funding, but all of our federal applications for the school year. With this strategic plan, we'll determine what sources of funding will be used based on the needs assessment that's being completed by the district and the local schools. With those meetings, we are recruiting, each school is recruiting a parent to participate, a teacher as well, in order to have feedback from everyone. So different individuals will be included. Any questions about federal programs? So my next step would be parent engagement. And so parent engagement has been continuous support. Thank you. And feedback. We've been doing formal, such as the surveys in reference to, we've reached out to our parents with reference to graduation. So we have sent that out and informed committees. We have parents that serving as committee members on our graduation committee. Summer programming, we're working with in surveying our parents in order to express an interest, whether they're participating in our summer programming. And as a school resource, being a resource to the schools as it relates to parents, whatever it may be. As an informal way, just overall community service to our parents, asking questions, being available, working with our McKinney-Vento parents, which are our parents that are in transition, remote and face-to-face concerns. Mr. Redmond and I often, we've got an appointment now to go out to see a parent to take a hotspot Monday. The sexually risk avoidance program. As I'm talking to parents, when I say customer service, one of the things that I've been doing is updating information. Because we find a lot of times when we send information out, we have wrong phone numbers. So anytime that I have a parent on the phone, that's a moment not only to just provide the customer service, but ensure that we have their correct contact information and encouraging them to be a part of any committees that we have within the schools. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so Mr. Redmond is going to, oh, it's already up. So this, again, is the summer program plan, which is just for the re-administration piece that's due to DPI, I think, on May 7th or sometime during that week.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Pittman Martin, for presenting this report tonight. Ms. Natasha Lynn Snipes, thank you for presenting the portion from EC tonight. And thank you, Mrs. Terry Austin, for your presentation as it related to student and parent involvement and the funding sources in that particular program. Board members, do you have any questions for either one of those ladies? And certainly we need to take action on the summer program plan.
I have questions.
Yes, go right ahead, Ms. Hale.
The first question is, will there be any options for virtual learning for the summer programs?
So the legislation is for in-person. However, we would like Fridays to be virtual Fridays. Again, because the state hasn't provided us a template, we don't know. We have to, I think, submit it to them at least 30 days prior to the last day for students. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they'll give us 21 days. So they may work on it for 9 days or so. They'll give us 21 days to make adjustments. So we're definitely considering it. We just don't know if we will be able to provide that option.
Okay, and do you know how soon you'll know? Because I'm sure that there are a lot of students that are at home working virtually now, and their parents would like for them to attend the summer program as well, you know, for remediation. So do you know how soon you would know something?
I don't know. They're providing updates gradually, so I could possibly reach out to someone, but right now we've been told that it's forthcoming, so be on the lookout for a template. And there are some, hold on one second, there are some questions and answers, so let me. I do have to thank Ms. Knights for this because I had a webinar at the same time that we had this webinar, and Ms. Knights attended and actually provided me a document Q&A. What's in here? It's right. Okay. Okay. So all of it is, I don't even see that, and I've read it. It's about the summer feeding. So based on this document, and I just want to make sure that I'm not overlooking anything. It talks about transportation and feeding. So that part is not exactly clear. Of course, it seems to be implied that it would be in person because it mentions the transportation and it actually says that it's in person, but we just don't know if we will be restricted. I think Dr. Congleton mentioned earlier that we can't really say about next school year. So I think the same is true for this program, unless they say you cannot offer it virtually, then otherwise, I don't think we would have an objection to doing that because we're doing it now, you know, during the regular school year with the concurrent teaching model. So hopefully we will be able to do that. We can definitely submit it in our plan once we do receive the template.
My next question is, are there any teachers involved on this committee?
On which committee?
On the curriculum and instruction committee.
Well, it's a district level team. So every school does have their, let's say, school improvement team and some other committees as well. Mm-hmm. However, this is a district level team. So no per se, but we're not, I'll say, opposed to, let's say, if it calls for a teacher to be on that team based on what we're working on, if it's a particular project or initiative, then by all means, we do bring those people in, but this is a district level team.
Okay. I just think that it will be beneficial for the district to have teachers involved also, because they do have hands-on with the students. So, and I've mentioned that before as well. My next question is about the McKinney-Vento students. And I know that we do have students that are in several different locations. And this question isn't for you, Ms. Pittman-Martin.
Okay.
But it's for, I don't know who it'll be for, but is there any jurisdiction for, I don't know, I know that we have, like I said, McKinney-Vento students that are all over the county. Are there any boundaries that that our school buses or transportation can go in or anything?
Okay. I serve as the McKinney-Vento liaison for Weldon City Schools. And with the law, we have to do what's the best interest of the students, of course. So of course, we wouldn't have a student riding for long periods of time. But yes, ma'am, due to from they're our babies, if this is their school of origin. And the purpose of McKinney-Vento is to ensure that the student doesn't have too many, distractions. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that their education is stable. So we do try to do it within reasonable, and the transportation director. So as a liaison, what I do if we have children that are outside of the district, we work with the transportation directors, communicate and talk to see what's in the best way to provide transportation. And that we do the same as well for foster children. So as the liaisons, we talk, and then we try to make sure what we've come about with, we include. So it's a circle that's included in those conversations. We don't do where the kids will have to get up at an earlier time. We try to make sure that whatever we do is not a burden on the parents. We have paid parents, there's money set aside that if a parent can transport the child or have someone transport the child to the bus, we've had those situations. So there's a lot of case by case cases. And sometimes, I mean, we have families that if they're McKinney-Vento, for example, if somebody's transporting them to the bus, and then we have instances where the car breaks down. So we have to make accommodations, but we have, yes, ma'am, we have about 3 cases right now in Weldon City Schools that we are outside of our district that we're picking up students.
Okay.
And that's for the school year. We have to do it for as long as the law reads, as long as so when the first day of school comes for next school year, then we can discuss, the school of origin can discuss with the parents, which is their choice, as to which school that they will go to at the end of the school year.
Okay, thank you so much for explaining that to me.
Yes, ma'am, my pleasure.
Mhm.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, then are there any questions on the summer program plan that Ms. Snipes, excuse me, not Ms. Snipes, that Mrs. Pittman Martin presented to us that needs approval? Hearing no questions, then a motion would be in order to approve the summer program plan that has been presented.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the summer program plans that have been presented to us tonight, Ms. Pittman Martin.
Second.
Was that you, Ms. K.A. Robinson? Or Ms.
Yeah.
Hale? Okay, all right. Thank you so much. The motion has been moved and properly seconded that we approve the summer program plan that has been presented to us tonight. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Mrs. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Donna Harrison?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Ms. K.A. Robinson?
Aye.
And O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect unanimous approval.
All right. Thank you all and have a good night.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Ms. Martin, thank you, thank you. All right. Let me back up real quick. Mrs. Campbell wanted to give you ample of time to find those amendments. Are you ready?
I am, and
Okay.
what I saw has happened, the statement, the recommendation statement from last month, somehow another rolled over into this month. The attached amendments that's out there, those are the amendments that need to be approved. But the number, that statement is incorrect.
Okay. All right. Any board members had, so Ms. Campbell, if you don't mind, restate those amendments, if you would, just so everybody can have them for their record.
Okay, it's state amendment number 34, state amendment number 33, state amendment 34, state amendment number 35, federal amendment number 14, federal amendment number 15, federal amendment number 16, and local amendment number 16. And I'd make sure next month that
Okay.
statement don't carry over, and I apologize.
All right. Thank you so much. Attorney Raymond, do we need a motion to approve those amendments, or are we going to receive them for information? Do we need a motion?
I'm not
Unmute,
aware of any
Mr. Raymond.
legal, Reverend Sykes, I'm not aware of any legal requirement to approve them. If you have a practice of the board approving them, then that's fine to do so. But I think that the information's been presented and is clear and then will be reflected in the open session minutes. I'm not aware of any requirement to take action.
Okay, so board members, do you all want to motion to approve these, or we can receive these as Mr. Raymond said?
No. Although I do see that the agenda item says the finance officer is requesting approval of state amendments 28 to 32. So, and I suppose there's no harm in the approval if the board is satisfied with the information presented and the finance staff has requested.
Okay.
And that's because, Reverend Sykes, we are increasing the budget with those amendments.
Well, that's a good point. In that case, that's
Yes.
an important clarification.
Yeah,
I do think it's wise for the board to approve. Yep.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarity. So a motion is in order to approve these amendments then.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the amendments stated by the finance director.
Second.
All right. Thank you so much. It has been motioned by Mrs. K. Robinson and seconded by Ms. Hale that we approve the amendments that have been stated by the financial director. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Jenkins?
Aye.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. K.A. Robinson?
Aye.
And O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect unanimous approval of the amendments. Thank you so much, Ms. Campbell, for verifying those. All right. We'll go right into our graduation report now. Mrs. Terry Austin.
Okay, we have had two meetings as graduation committees with Roanoke Valley Early College and Weldon STEM High School for the graduation ceremonies of the class of 2021. It is now that time of the year. So beginning the planning process, the committee came together, which consisted of the teachers at the schools, each principals, the first meeting, and everybody giving off a report as to what the school's conversation had began. And a part of the initial meeting, we decided to do a, Miss Kitty, I did not throw that at you, I'm sorry. You know I wouldn't. We had 32 responses, which was only 45% of the parents of the senior class to actually respond. But from the responses, 94%, which was 30 parents responded saying they wanted an in-person graduation. The two options were in-person or virtual, similar to what we conducted last year. So those were the responses for the feedback. So when we came back around the table for our second meeting, also on that parent survey, we asked, are you interested in being a part of the committee? So a part of the committee at each school, one parent is serving as well as committee members. Roanoke Valley Early College has 3 staff members, including the principal, and 1 parent. Weldon High School has 9 staff members, including the principal and 1 parent. And from the central office, we have 3 representatives. Mr. Redmond, who's our technology and design marketing man, he's assisting us with several options. And we have Ms. Robinson, Akila Robinson, and myself as the liaison for the district as it relates to graduation. So the date that was chosen was May 27th. The schools this year has opted, they wanted to do 2 separate graduations. They have chosen Halifax Community College as their first choice to host graduation, their choice to have graduation. The times would be Roanoke Valley Early College at 3 p.m.
and Weldon High School at 5 p.m. We've looked at attendance and safety precautions and constantly checking with our school health contact, Ms. Snipes. And we'll continue to work with Ms. Snipes in reference to ensuring that we meet all of those COVID-related guidelines. We're trying to maintain under. The capacity of Howard Community College is 500. Mask will be required. We will have our screening precautions of the as usual. And speaking with Mr. Pullen today, he has spoken with Lieutenants Emmett, I think it's Smith at the college. Am I correct? That they're gonna give us the leeway, whereas we won't have to stop at that 100 building in order to be screened, and we'll be able to come in the side way so that we will have to man them when they come in. We were thinking about the holding up traffic and people being late and, just trying to make sure that we were able to get parents in and out. So attendance wise, Roanoke Valley Early College and the high school will provide 6 tickets per student. So with the 6 tickets, we'll have 150 participants other than the 26 students and staff. And Weldon High School, we will have 270 guests along with the 45 students and staff. And also they're wanting to continue to do the vehicle commencement on May 22nd, with the rain date being May 23rd. That was, I think everybody, even the community members have called to say, are y'all still doing that again as well? I apologize, I didn't think to put that on the survey, but the other piece was the commencement. So we're asking for discussion and action, and approval from the board in order to move forward with these plans.
Mrs. Austin.
Yes, sir.
I totally agree with what has been presented. I only have one question. Rather than starting that late in the day, could the graduation ceremonies actually, start a little earlier? Because 3 to 5, that's kind of close. So could RVAC maybe start, or do their graduation maybe 11 that morning or 12 noon, and then the high school come, at like 3 o'clock?
I can check. I do know it was brought to my attention, but I was told that the students may not be impacted. But the 27th is also a makeup testing date on our calendar. But I can inquire to see if that would still be something that we can do. Because when that came up that it was a testing date, but then I was told it's just a makeup date.
Right. And I'm concerned about that too. I mean, I'm not going to fall out about it if the committee and everybody kind of got together with it. I'm good with the 27th, but I am concerned with that being a makeup day. And I think, if we don't have any students to make up, especially RVAC being right there on the campus, because we've done our graduations, earlier in the day, and they were on the same day, but we've done them early in the day. That's my only concern, because with tickets being given out, only so many people will be able to come, and those that have a ticket, whether it's 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock, they will make it their business to be there because it's a ticketed event. I would just like to see us start our graduations earlier, and that will give the graduates more time after their graduation to, hey, do their little family get-togethers and things of that nature.
Okay.
Miss Austin.
Yes, ma'am.
What about our seniors? Are they testing any earlier, or could they possibly test earlier? That way we can have the makeup date prior to the commencement date. Okay. Or I guess that's something that, can be.
Those are things that I'll follow up. So Ms. Robinson, is the leader of that testing calendar, and I don't know what the specific guidelines are in place. So I'm taking notes so that I can go back and accommodate.
And Mrs. Austin.
Yes, sir.
Now, I mean, I know that the center is pretty much open, but Are we on the calendar? That, I mean, everything has basically been secured. That date is open with the center, correct?
Yes, sir. Mr. Pullen has, with his connection by being on the campus of HCC, he said we are penciled in pending board approval for that date.
Okay, all right. Good enough.
Mrs. Austin,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
is the last day again? Last day of school? Because I got on my notes the 27th.
27th is the last day of
So-
school.
So that is, okay, so it will be on the last day of school as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Austin, I'm fine as long as we can, just work out what Mrs. Bird Robinson notated about, making sure that our students could, if they had a makeup test, get it done before the 27th. And my only other concern is if we can have our graduations, starting with RBEC earlier rather than waiting so late. If we own the calendar, I'm quite sure we may have it all day. So if we could do our graduations earlier, go ahead on and get them out the way. So our graduates, they can enjoy, with their family and all, the rest of the day. That's, I think everything else sounds good.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, sir, you said 11 o'clock for the first one, which would be RVAC?
If we could.
No, not be yeah, RVAC, okay. And then I think they had a couple of hours break. So then just the same amount of hours to begin the high school.
Yeah, if we could have, maybe 3 hours or so, so everybody could kind of clear out and then maybe start the high school, 2 o'clock in the day or something.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I understand what you're saying about the time, but if they have met, I would think they would have already considered those things that we're talking about. And there is the time they selected. So, I just feel that we should go along with their recommendation. I'm quite sure they had considered different times of the day and so forth. And that's their recommendation. I would just go along with that. It's their graduation. They know how much time gonna be left, what the families want to do. And you have parents up there and the staff up there, and that's what they have come up with. And I really don't feel that we should change it.
Well, I totally respect what you say, Mr. Williams. And I mean, I think we can approve it, but still, if there can be an adjustment, that's just me personally. I mean, but however it works out, it's fine with me. I just don't think it will hurt anything to ask. But if that's what they come back with to say those times, I'm fine with that. But if Mrs. Austin would ask, and if they want to stick with that time, hey, we roll with it.
Also, Ms. Austin, has time been factored in for them to sanitize the area that we'll be using?
Yes, ma'am. It has.
Time for
And
that.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And so they will be working together as a team to setting up the decorations. So the same decorations will stay for the next grad, so we're working together with that as well.
And I guess that's my concern for everybody to be comfortable. If one graduation starts at 3 and then the other one starts at 5, you're going to use the same, as what I just heard you say, Mrs. Austin, going to use the same decorations, but there won't be any time or anything for any type of cleaning in between because you got to go right into the next one. I don't know if it's a fogger or whatever they might use.
Yeah, the fogger.
Right.
Mhm.
And I mean, they got to go through, and you're talking about a maximum of 500 people that
How
could be
long?
there.
15 minutes? How long is it? Is it 15 minutes? So Ms. Snipes has just shared, it's 4 minutes after we spray that the area will be ready for use.
So it's one of those immediate.
We purchased the foggers The professional foggers, yes, sir.
Okay. I still would like for you to check with those principals. But I mean, I would like a little more time. I know me personally, I'm sensitive to smell. So if we had a little more time, you know, just for things to air out, I would like that. But again, if they're not willing to make those adjustments, I'm fine. But if we can have more time to start earlier, I think it would be more advantageous for us. But you can check and find out, and we'll go from there.
Yes, sir, will do. And as soon as I do, I'll make sure that I let everybody know the updated times.
Right. If it is any updated time, but I think we can certainly go forward with what has been presented tonight. And if times are adjusted, we can just go with the flow.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve the graduation
Report or presentation.
Graduation presentation for tonight.
Second.
Who was that second?
K.A. Robinson, and thank you, Mr. Sykes, as well.
Okay, all right. Motion has been made and properly second that we accept the graduation report tonight that has been presented by Mrs. Terry Austin. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness or further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? O.D. Sykes, aye. Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Jenkins? Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Ms. K.A. Robinson?
Aye.
Let the record reflect unanimous vote to approve. Thank you so much. All right. We're ready now for number 6, presentations. Mrs. Terry Austin, are you ready for the presentations for Student of the Month, Employee of the Month, and Most Valuable Parent?
Yes, I am. And I just stepped to the side to ensure that the families knew that we were about to present. So hopefully that all are on to participate. We're excited to, this is the highlight of the night, is to highlight the great students, staff, and parents that we have within our district. Mr. Redmond is pulling up our presentation tonight and still feels like spring is in the air.
All right.
So we have for Weldon Elementary School. So first of all, my April presentations. Thank you, Mr. Okay. So first we're going to talk about our Students of the Month. Weldon Elementary Global Academy. We have this 3rd grader here that looks like he's standing good and proud, and we are proud of him.
Yeah.
His name is Brian Allen Jr. His Student of the Month is hardworking, kind, respectful, and has a positive attitude. So he has all of the traits that we look for in our Student of the Month. He goes above and beyond inside and outside of the classroom. And Byron actively participates in class and does a good job on all of his assignments. He sets a fantastic example for his peers and his work ethic and quiet leadership. His teachers are proud to have him represent Weldon Elementary Global Academy, and they just shout out, way to go, from Miss Jensen and Miss Goss. Let's give them a round of applause. Weldon Middle School, I have Tanaya Sharon Tillman. Miss Tillman is a student from the 6th grade team who exemplifies perseverance and dedication. Since this school year has started, she has continued to stay focused on all of her studies. She's always willing to participate in class or help her classmates navigate an academic platforms used in our virtual classrooms. In addition to being a cooperative learner, she advocates for herself by asking for help or clarity when it's needed. She is the model of integrity and leadership in all that she does. Her team says, keep up the good work, from the 6th grade team. Go, Tanaya. Our next student is 10th grade Weldon STEM High School student who has, and the picture that we have shows that she was one of those students who received that extra gift card for the extra participation. Sanaja is the spirit of Weldon High School. She brings a positive energy and keeps all of us on our toes. She has worked hard to self-improve and make it a point to check in with employees in the district who can redirect her and keep her on track. Whether attending school virtually or face-to-face, she finds a way to keep a smile on everybody's faces. Congratulations. Now, for our 12th grade, we have Miss Angel Solomon at Roanoke Valley Early College. She's a hard-working senior at Roanoke Valley Early College who's currently working extremely hard to make sure she gets a good grade in her history class. She was nominated by her principal, Mr. Pulley, and she has impressed Mr. Pulley with her timelines, her perseverance, and her commitment to graduate, willing to do whatever it takes to get that credit. She's always grinds through the challenges and deserves this honor and highlight on perseverance. Congratulations, Angel. Those were our students of the month at our select schools, and we will be taking signs out and putting them in their yards, as well as the students receiving a trophy and a certificate. So congratulations to all of our students. Next, we have our employee of the month. Ironically, this, I'm sitting and I'm listening, and Mr. Turner, I believe, gave recognition of our employee of the month in his presentations. So it was just weird, but to say that, everything kind of comes together. Well, our employee of the month is Mr. Troy Garris, and he was nominated by Dr. Robinson at Weldon Middle School. Coach Garris is an ideal employee. He constantly goes the extra mile to assist all schools and the custodial staff in the Weldon City Schools District. He is dedicated to doing his best work at all times. Coach Garris is everyone's go-to because they know he has a heart for the schools and students as a genuine love for Weldon City Schools. He knows the importance of quality work and demonstrates that knowledge in everything that he does. For those reasons and many more, Coach Garris is deserving of this honor. Coach Garris, a dedicated team player for Weldon City Schools District. Let's give him a hand as well. Okay, now we come down to our parent of the month. Our parent of the month is Miss Shawanda Bowser with that beautiful smile today, Miss Bowser. She's always willing to help at RVEC. No matter what they need, they know they can count on her to help us and get that and a little bit more. She has served on our school improvement team for years. She helps facilitate school activities and help us when we underwent our DPI needs assessment last year. She always has a smile and is the only an email for us away. It is with the greatest pride that RVEC nominated this wonderful parent who is willing to meet our needs whenever we have them and whatever that need is. Congratulations, Ms. Shawanda Bowser. Again, everyone that was represented tonight, and I've spoken with each one of them, will get a sign placed in their yard, as well as our parent will receive, along with the sign, a plaque to hang in her home. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I think you the one. I see all the other schools have in there the AB honor roll of their school, but I never see one in there for Weldon.
We submit them, and I'll try to print, but we do the schools. Now we started last 9 weeks, but we have sent them to Ms. Tia, so they have been submitted to the paper.
And they just have.
And I will check. Okay, I will check.
I thought I would ask you because we got all the.
Great.
What you presented,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great, and that's good. I'd like to see ours in there also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you again, Mrs. Austin. Anybody else have a comment or question? All right, certainly want to appreciate all of our honorees for this month. All right, board members, do you all want a 2-minute break or let's keep going?
Let's keep going.
Going.
All right. Moving right along. Dr. Congleton, we have anyone for public forum tonight?
Yes, we do. First, we have Ms. Regina Brooks.
Okay. And
Ms. Brooks is coming forward.
okay, you say we have 2?
Yes, we do.
Who is the second person?
We have David Thorne and Kim Jackson as well.
Okay. Oh, okay, we have 3, David Thorne.
I don't know if they're here or not, but they submitted a request. They're not here?
And
Okay, I've been told that the other 2 are not here. So Ms. Brooks.
okay. All right. Mrs. Brooks, thank you for coming again this evening, and you are familiar with our protocol. Mr. Williams, can you, if you don't mind, would you keep the time tonight?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Let me know when you're ready, Mr. Williams.
Ready.
All right. Mrs. Brooks, 3 minutes starts whenever you start talking.
Thank you so much and good evening.
Good evening.
Since you're all adults who can read, I'll begin with my summary. So if my 3 minutes are up, you'll have reading materials. In summary, I don't know what lies ahead for Weldon City Schools. I'm committed to the school system. And if not, I have been asked to research and investigate, spearheading a group of 50 to 75 parents as Director of Supervision of Homeschoolers who devoted to educating their children to the highest level of success. Thank you all for what you do and what you've done. I look forward to sharing with the governor and the State Board of Education and others who are interested in doing this in the coming months. The ball, the vision God has shared with you through me, your chosen vessel. The ball is in your court, Weldon City Schools. When first looking at Weldon City Schools, looking for a new superintendent and finding that there was very little support or maybe not support parental involvement, I was wondering, why is it parents aren't completing the survey? And I spoke with the attorney and I was going to send this in, and I went out down the streets in Weldon City School District. And I asked parents, what's the problem? And you know what they said to me? Ms. Brooks, they don't even listen to you. They're gonna do what they want to do. Why are they gonna listen to us? I was so upset and sad. So I didn't even continue, but I'm going to send this to the attorney. So now I start. To Dr. Jerry Congleton, interim superintendent, and the school board members. My husband was the late Dr. Ernest Andrew Brooks Jr. At the time of his death, he was assistant superintendent of Weldon City Schools. As you well know, Dr. Brooks was impeccable and concerned about every child and employee in the school system. Born in a family of educators, Ernest earned degrees in education, sought wisdom and love for all children. Dr. Brooks and I share similar educational philosophies. That work cannot and has not gone unnoticed, for you named this boardroom on his behalf, which he rightfully earned. I was so excited in February to learn that you were looking for a new superintendent. Being a widow, still a devout educator, even though Weldon City Schools administration and school board members haven't recognized my degrees and experience of 22 years, I still sought to discuss with my son, by the way, who doesn't have a degree in education or a doctorate degree, to apply for the position of superintendent of Weldon City Schools. I know that my son is highly qualified and will succeed in any position he is entrusted with because he was formed within my womb. I was so disappointed to learn that he would not want to become the leader.
Please finish your statement, Mrs. Brooks.
I was so disappointed to learn that he did not want to become the leader. He stated to me, Mama, no, not this political system with its shenanigans. No, Mother, that's for you and Dad. Remember, Dad said you need your own school system. I continued to teach from my home, administrators, educators, parents, students, and citizens to fish for education, fish to improve the quality of life and the quantity of life for the community, fish for righteousness' sake, fish to vote, fish to elect people, citizens who not only talk the talk, but walk the walk, and who are responsive to all voters. We must learn how to maintain our educational system so that we can leave this world a better place for students, thus allowing them to become productive, contributing, successful citizens in this global world. And I also have entrusted a health examination certificate that was completed by my doctor and my COVID vaccination in case if you are in need of any assistance. Thank you so much. I do appreciate the time.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks, for your comments. Thank you so much for having the heart and the passion to come to our board meetings. Thank you so much. All right. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. Motion in order to approve the consent agenda.
You waiting for a motion, Mr. Sykes?
Yes, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much. It has been motioned by Ms. Tiffany Hale and seconded by Mrs. Donna Harrison that we approve the consent agenda. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness or further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Jenkins?
Aye.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. K. Robinson?
Aye.
And O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect that it is a unanimous vote. Moving on to action number 10 on our agenda, action from closed session.
Mr. Chair, I move that we
Yes.
accept the personnel recommendations as amended.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much. It has been motioned by Ms. K. Robinson and seconded by Mrs. Donna Harrison that we accept our personnel recommendation, our actions from closed session as amended. You've heard that motion. Is there any unreadiness or any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voting sign, your voice vote? Mrs. Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mrs. Bird Robinson?
Yes.
Mrs. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Mrs. Jenkins? Did Mrs. Jenkins say anything?
I said aye.
Okay, I didn't hear you, Ms. Jenkins. That mic is messing with me again. And OD Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect unanimous approval of the amended personnel recommendations from closed session. All right, we have another motion on that will need to come forth at this time.
To adjourn.
The HR contract.
Repeat that, Mr. Sykes. I'm having some issues with my internet.
It's the HR recommendation.
Okay.
A motion is in order.
I make a motion that we do not extend a contract to the current HR director, Mr. Wu.
Okay.
Second.
Motion has been moved and properly seconded. Motion by Mrs. Bird Robinson, seconded by Ms. K.A. Robinson, that we do not extend a contract or renew a contract with the current HR director. You have heard that motion. All in favor, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Bird Robinson?
Yes.
Mrs. K.A. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
And O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect unanimous vote not to approve the current HR director's contract. Thank you so much. Do we have any closing comments by board members? If not,
I make a motion.
we go right ahead.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Has been motioned by Ms. Hale to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bird Robinson. You've heard that motion to adjourn. Is there any readiness? Hearing none. All in favor of that motion, would you let it be known by your voice vote? Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Jenkins?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Aye.
Ms. K. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
And O.D. Sykes, aye. Let the record reflect unanimous vote to adjourn. Thank you so much, board members. Thank you, Dr. Congleton. Thank you, Ms. Kitty, so much for recording the minutes. Thank you, Attorney Raymond, for sharing with us tonight. And again, thank all of our board members and all presenters. Everybody have a wonderful evening.